Hello, welcome to Tim Anderson Horse Training. Today I'm going to be showing you some groundwork exercises that you can use to help your horse, either a disrespectful horse, to learn to respect your space, or you can use it with a young horse like I'm doing here to help develop a good work ethic, help them to develop a respect for your space and learn what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So I always want to start with, anytime I'm doing an exercise where I'm going to be using a whip, I want to make sure that the horse is not afraid of the whip to begin with. A whip is just like any other tool. Your halter, your saddle, your bridle, anything, a whip is just a tool. And you don't want your horse to be afraid of that tool. The horse has to understand it, has to respect it, but not be afraid of it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm working with just the halter, just like what I've worked with before, and I'll put a link to this halter in my comments below. I really like this halter. And so what I'm going to start with is I'm going to point my left hand and ask this horse to move his feet. If he doesn't move his feet, I'll send him with the whip with my right hand. Smooch and move his feet. And I'm not really going to ask him to work fast or work hard. It's not about how hard he works or how fast he works. It's about the fact that when I asked him, he said, "Yes, sir, I'll do it." Now, when I change directions, I don't like to disengage the back end like you see some trainers do. Everything that I train is working towards reining and working cow horse, and I'm going to want that back end engaged for everything I'm going to do. So I'm not going to disengage that back end for the turn. I am going to start early at this point developing an engaged turn, just like I'm going to ask for a turn on the fence or a reining spin or any other maneuver that I'm going to want that horse to do with his head, with his back end engaged. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the whip around, swap hands, get two eyes, and send the shoulders. There we go. Now I'm going to be walking around a little bit. I'm not big. I'm not one to stand in one spot the whole time. I like to move a little bit when I'm lunging. Puts me in different positions and teaches that horse that even though I might not be in that exact drive line position, he should still keep going. So I'm going to switch directions again. I'll put the lead rope in my left hand, bring the whip around behind me, ask for two eyes, send the shoulders. All I did was slap at the ground. I'll ask about twice, maybe three times, slapping the ground. Each time my slap gets a little bit more assertive, and after about the third time, if those shoulders have not gone laterally, then I'll get more aggressive and maybe use the whip on his shoulders to make him go. But I'm going to give him every opportunity to move without touching him with the whip. So again, I'll change directions. Lead rope in my right hand, two eyes, send the shoulders. That's more like what I want. See, the back end stayed engaged, shoulders move laterally. Same movement that I'm going to ask for when I'm working the cow later. All my movements I'm ever going to ask a horse to do, I'm going to do with the back end engaged. So I never disengage a horse's back end. Ask for another turn. Good. Good job. Good boy. Now, like right there, when he got out on the end of that lead rope, I'm going to take a step and send. Step and send. It's his job, step and send. It's his job to not let that lead rope pull on his face. There we go. Work my way back a little closer to the camera. So by step and send, what I mean is I'm going to step a little bit behind the drive line and send him forward. There we go. Send. And we're going to change directions again. Good boy. He's a little bit better about maintaining slack in the lead rope going this direction. Tells me he's a little bit softer in the face to the right, a little bit harder in the face to the left, a little stiffer, I mean. Ask for another change. 2 eyes. Move the shoulders. Engage forward impulsion on the hip. Change directions, 2 eyes. Move the shoulders. Engage the hip. Change directions. Whip behind me. 2 eyes. 2 eyes. Engage. And what happens there when I engage the hip in that turn, that helps to put the hip under him and in a position so that he can get those shoulders up and moved laterally. He didn't quite have enough engagement there. See how he kind of hopped? Wasn't enough on his back end. 2 eyes. That was better. Got a little bend. They should come out of that turn with a little bit of bend in their body, just like the bend that I'm going to want in this direction. 2 eyes. Good boy. Change hands. 2 eyes. Good boy. So now I'll let him stop here. Good boy. Basically I did just like what I was doing for changing directions, I just didn't send him in the new direction. He's licking, he's understanding. Good boy, good boy. And he's still not afraid of the whip. So that's to me, that's the most important exercise that I want. It's going to teach him respect on the ground. If he's already disrespectful, it's going to get him out of my space, the way I send the shoulders. And let's say I'm leading the horse. I don't ever make a loop here, make a zigzag. Now I'm leading him, and I want him to follow me wherever we go. I don't want him to pull on the lead rope. I don't want him to bump into me. Wherever we go, I expect him to keep up. Now, right there he's pulling a little bit. Let me give him just a little touch. Saying catch up. Go back the other way. Go back this way. Good boy. Good boy. Ask for a little backup. He has a little harder time with the backup. Back up. Good boy. Back up. Good boy. Good boy. Back up. Good boy. Do that again. That's the one he has the hardest time with. Come on, back up. Good boy. Him, personally, it seems like when I'm not facing him, he has a harder time understanding me. He needs to see my expression to understand what I'm asking for. It's kind of him. That's a little bit unusual. Like right here, he doesn't back as good as right here. So this needs to be better. There we go. That was better. Good boy. Good boy. Go off this way, and I just kind of drift around one way, drift around the other way, and wherever I go, I expect him to stay with me. Not pull on me. Always saying, yes sir, what are we doing? Okay, so let's say I'm walking him around like this, and he was to bump into me. Either bump into my shoulder, or bump into my back. Whatever he would do, if I was to stop, he would run into me. What I would do is just point and send. Notice how I like to hold my whip. Top end is down. If I need to send, it's just a matter of flicking it over and flicking it back. I'm not out here threatening the whole time. I'm not going to threaten. I'm going to ask with my right hand, tell with a smooch, and demand with the whip. I always have 3 stages, 3 levels of every pressure I put on a horse. Ask, hand, tell, smooch, demand with the whip. Change directions, 2 eyes, and send. Good boy. Whip and lead rope together. Good boy. I helped him a little bit there. Face up to me. He hasn't done this a whole bunch, so I will help show him the right answer. Now me personally, I prefer to have a horse leading a couple of feet back like he's doing now. That's where I really want a horse to lead. Now he's pulling on me a little bit. That needs to get better. But I personally do not like to lead right here. Just my preference. I want to make sure that he understands that I am the leader and he is the follower. I don't want to give him any indication that there's anything else going on. I don't want us to be equals in any part. I am always the leader. It's just my preference. I know a lot of people like that different. That's how I like it. Good boy. Good boy. Sack him out with the whip. Make sure he's still okay with it. And he is. So that's some exercises that I do to help with a horse that's either disrespectful on the ground or to not let him get disrespectful to begin with. If you never let them get disrespectful on the ground to begin with, you never have to put yourself in the danger of dealing with a disrespectful horse. So if you're already at the point where you have a disrespectful horse, these exercises that I just showed you will help fix that problem. So I want to thank you for watching today. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments box below. Let me know what problems you're having with your horses. Maybe I can do some videos and show you how to help those problems. And until next time, thank you for watching.